Imagine a peaceful night shattered by a deafening explosion that claims the lives of dedicated public servants in the line of duty. 3 police officers slain in a harrowing incident during an eviction gone horribly wrong in Italy. This tragic event not only highlights the dangers faced by law enforcement, but also raises profound questions about desperation, resistance, and the thin line between self-defense and violence. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this act of defiance a cry for help, or a calculated assault that crosses into criminal territory? Stick around as we dive deeper into the details, peeling back layers you might not expect. A catastrophic blast rocked a farmhouse in northern Italy, near the city of Verona, resulting in the deaths of 3 members of the Carabinieri, Italy's elite military police force. At least 15 others sustained injuries, including 11 fellow Carabinieri officers, 3 from Italy's state police, and 1 brave firefighter. The explosion, which could be heard from as far as 5 kilometers, about 3 miles away, left the once standing structure reduced to a pile of rubble, a stark testament to the immense force unleashed. The incident unfolded during an attempt to enforce an eviction order against 3 siblings, a brother and sister in their late 50s, and another brother in his mid-60s, who were deeply entrenched in the property. The farmhouse was slated for eviction due to accumulated debts owed by the owners, a common yet contentious issue in many societies where financial hardship clashes with legal obligations. For context, eviction proceedings like this often involve courts issuing orders to remove occupants who can no longer afford or comply with property terms. But they can escalate when emotions run high, much like heated disputes over unpaid rents or mortgages that we've seen in other countries. Authorities had tried to resolve the situation peacefully before things turned deadly. Mediators were dispatched to negotiate with the siblings, who had fortified themselves inside the house, barricading entrances as a last stand. Yet despite these efforts, the standoff led to tragedy. In the early hours of the morning, around 3 o'clock local time, 1 o'clock GMT, police and firefighters entered the premises, only to be met with what Provincial Police Commander Claudio Papagno described to the ANSA news agency as an act of absolute madness. A gas cylinder had been deliberately ignited, causing the explosion that struck the officers directly. Petrol bombs were also discovered on the property, according to Interior Minister Matteo Piantedosi, suggesting premeditation and a readiness for confrontation. The Verona prosecutor, Raffaele Tito, painted a grim picture, calling the farmhouse derelict and without electricity, and classifying the blast as a premeditated and voluntary homicide. Officers reported hearing a whistle just before the detonation, likely the sound of gas cylinders being opened. This detail underscores how the siblings appeared prepared for this extreme measure, raising questions about whether they viewed it as a form of resistance against what they saw as an unjust eviction. 3 individuals were apprehended in connection with the event. A man and a woman were arrested on site, while another man who fled the scene was quickly located. All have been hospitalized, underscoring the chaos and potential for self-harm in such desperate acts. Neighbors in the area shared chilling insights with Italian media, revealing that they were aware of the tense situation and had even heard the siblings threaten to blow themselves up. Rather than vacate the property, it's a reminder of how community whispers can sometimes foreshadow tragedy, and how underlying issues like poverty or mental health crises might push people to extreme lengths. In the aftermath, leaders expressed sorrow and solidarity. Veneto Regional Head Luca Zaia mourned the loss tied to the debt-related eviction, while Interior Minister Piantedosi reflected on the grief of the moment, noting that past eviction attempts had hinted at resistance. Defense Minister Guido Rossetto joined other officials in honoring the 3 officers who perished serving their nation, emphasizing the sacrifices made in maintaining public order. And this is the part most people miss. In a world where evictions and property disputes are routine, Incidents like this force us to confront the human cost. Is resisting authority through such violent means ever justifiable, even if driven by desperation? Or does it blur the lines between victim and perpetrator? Some might argue it's a stark example of systemic failures in addressing debt and housing insecurities, prompting calls for better social support. Others see it as an unacceptable attack on law enforcement, prioritizing safety above all. What do you think? Does this tragedy highlight flaws in eviction processes, or is it a cautionary tale of unchecked defiance? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective on where to draw the line in such fraught situations.